Tonight, on What's Beneath, we descend below the stone and silence of a national icon. The Washington Monument rises high, but its roots are hidden. Myths, Masons, and messages carved in secret. Let's explore the layers, just beneath the surface. Welcome to What's Beneath, the series that dives below the surface. And today we're going beneath one of the world's most iconic landmarks, the Washington Monument. Beneath the quiet sky of Washington, D.C., a white stone spire rises into the air. The Washington Monument. Towering over the National Mall at 555 feet, it stands like a silent sentinel, marking the legacy of America's first president. But like so many historic landmarks, there is more to this monument than meets the eye. Tonight, we take a calm journey beneath the surface into the foundation, into the symbolism, and into the stories that have, for centuries, rested quietly below. The idea for a national monument to honor George Washington was born in 1783. Just as the Revolutionary War was ending, the Continental Congress proposed building a statue. But years passed. Debates over design, funding, and political infighting delayed the project. Finally, in 1848, a cornerstone was laid with great ceremony. It was a moment of unity, watched by thousands. But then, construction stopped again. The Civil War divided the country, and the monument stood unfinished for years. It wasn't until 1884 that the final stone was placed, and the aluminum capstone was added to the very top. At the time, aluminum was rare, more valuable than gold. From base to tip, the monument was now complete, and it became the tallest man-made structure in the world for a time, made of marble, granite, and bluestone. But what rests beneath it is just as intriguing. Below the visible base of the monument lies a chamber, about 7 feet deep. There's no vast cavern, no maze of tunnels, but the story begins with a box, a sealed cornerstone. On July 4th, 1848, a group of Freemasons gathered for the ceremonial laying of this cornerstone. They used symbolic tools, a trowel, a square, a compass, and the box placed beneath it contained powerful symbols of the era: a U.S. flag, newspapers, a portrait of George Washington, and a Masonic apron. Yes, the Freemasons were deeply involved. And that ritual was more than tradition. It was a nod to the quiet influence of their values in the shaping of America. The foundation was packed with concrete and rubble, typical for the time. In modern years, the structure has been reinforced, but the sealed cornerstone remains hidden from public view. The monument itself is rich with symbolic meaning. It stands alone, towering into the sky like an obelisk, an ancient form long associated with the sun, with legacy, with enlightenment. Some believe its alignment with other DC buildings forms a symbolic map. The US Capitol, the White House, the Jefferson Memorial, all placed with intention, perhaps even Masonic geometry. The cornerstone ceremony in 1848 was led by the Grand Lodge of the Freemasons of DC. Several presidents were Masons. Rituals, symbols, and stone. Whether coincidence or calculation, the mystery lingers. While visitors now ride an elevator to the top, inside the monument lies something most never see: 193 commemorative stones, each one donated by states, organizations, or countries around the world. Lining the interior shaft, these stones carry engravings, religious phrases, Latin inscriptions, obscure symbols. One reads, "The memory of the just is blessed." Another, "Holiness to the Lord." One was even gifted by the Vatican. Another, from Japan. It's a collection of messages from every corner of the world, sealed in stone. And at the very top, the aluminum capstone, engraved with the words, Laus Deo, Latin for, "Praise be to God." The monument is hollow. A narrow shaft runs from bottom to top. There are no hidden chambers beneath it, but still, the myths persist. Some whisper about secret military meetings inside. Others believe the monument acts as a type of antenna, part of a symbolic power grid beneath Washington. And while these theories stretch beyond what history can confirm, they reflect a truth: that monuments are not just stone and mortar. They are vessels for memory, myth, and meaning. So, what's beneath the Washington Monument? Not just earth and stone, not just a sealed box from 1848, but ideals, symbols, and stories laid down by those who believed in the power of legacy. As the evening settles over Washington, D.C., casting long shadows across the National Mall, the Washington Monument stands bathed in the soft glow of twilight. Its stark white form seems to absorb the day's hues, turning the sky a canvas of purples and pinks. For those who gather around its base, the quiet hum of the city provides a solemn soundtrack to the monument's timeless presence. This obelisk is more than just a tribute to a nation's founding father. It's a symbol of unity, of sacrifice, and of enduring legacy. As we stand beneath it, we're enveloped in a sense of history, aware that within its depths lie stories that resonate across time. The sealed cornerstone, hidden from view, becomes a metaphor for the layers upon layers of meaning that define this iconic landmark. But the mysteries don't end there. The commemorative stones lining the monument's interior, each a silent testament to different parts of the United States and nations from around the globe, serve as a powerful reminder of the monument's universal appeal. These stones are more than just markers. They're a chorus of voices from distant lands, speaking in a shared language of respect and admiration. And then there's the very design of the monument. Its height, its location, and even its alignment seem to hold secrets whispered only to those who seek them out. The potential connections to other DC landmarks, the possible influence of Masonic symbolism, all hint at a deeper web of meaning woven into the fabric of this structure. As darkness falls and the city lights begin to twinkle, we find ourselves drawn into the enigma of the Washington Monument. We peer up at its majestic form, wondering about the stories held within its stone heart. And in the stillness of the night, we hear echoes of the past, the footsteps of those who came before us, the hopes and dreams they carried, and the legacy they left behind. In this place of twilight and reflection, we realize that the Washington Monument is more than just a landmark. It's a keeper of stories, a silent sentinel standing guard over the memories that shape a nation. It was the year 1848, and the idea of a grand monument dedicated to George Washington was finally taking shape in the heart of Washington, D.C. The cornerstone, the symbolic heart of this future towering obelisk, was about to be laid in a ceremony filled with anticipation and Masonic ritual. On that momentous day, a crowd gathered, their eyes fixed on the spot where the cornerstone would soon rest. Among them were prominent figures, eager to pay tribute to the nation's revered first president. As the ceremony commenced, the energy was palpable. There was a sense of purpose, of unity, and perhaps even destiny in the air. The Freemasons, with their time-honored traditions, took center stage. Their involvement added a layer of solemnity and mystique to the proceedings. The cornerstone, more than just a piece of stone, was imbued with Masonic symbolism and ritual. The placement of the cornerstone was no mere formality. It was a sacred act, a commitment to the enduring legacy of George Washington. But as the ceremony drew to a close, a sense of urgency began to creep into the air. The cornerstone was set, but the future of the monument hung in the balance. Political tensions were rising, and the prospect of civil war loomed on the horizon. And as the years rolled by, the nation's wounds widened, threatening to consume the very fabric of the United States. With each passing year, the dream of a completed Washington Monument seemed to fade, replaced by the harsh realities of a divided nation. For decades, the half-finished obelisk stood as a silent witness to the turmoil that gripped the country. It was a stark reminder of aspirations deferred and unity lost. Then, as if guided by an unseen hand, the nation began to heal. Slowly but surely, the wounds of war began to close, and with them, the hope for a reunited country rekindled. The time had come to finish what had been started so long ago. In 1884, when the final stone was placed atop the Washington Monument, It was a moment of triumph. After decades of division and despair, the nation had come together to complete this enduring symbol of unity and remembrance. Yet beneath this triumphant exterior, there remained a secret, a hidden layer of history that few knew about. The cornerstone, laid in 1848, had not merely been a piece of stone. It was a vessel of Masonic symbolism and ritual. The Freemasons, with their deep roots in American history, had played a pivotal role in shaping the nation's early years, and the Washington Monument stood as a testament to their influence. Within the cornerstone lay a time capsule of sorts, containing relics and symbols that spoke to the era in which it was placed. Newspapers, a portrait of George Washington, and even a Masonic apron lay encased in the stone, waiting to be discovered. The discovery of the cornerstone's contents revealed not just a hidden history, but also the values and beliefs that had shaped the nation's founders. It was a reminder that the story of the United States was not just about politics and power, but also about the ideals of liberty, equality, and fraternity. As the years went by, the Washington Monument continued to stand as a beacon of American unity. Yet beneath its imposing presence, the story of the cornerstone and the Freemasons served as a quiet reminder of the nation's complex and often overlooked past. It was a history that transcended the monument itself, connecting the nation's present to its long-forgotten roots. Today, as visitors from around the world marvel at the Washington Monument, they stand on hallowed ground. They may not see the secret chambers beneath the surface, but they feel the monument's silent echoes. It's a place where the past whispers to the present, reminding us that the story of America is written not just in stone, but in the very foundations of our history. Thank you for watching What's Beneath. And remember, every monument has more than one layer. You just have to look a little deeper. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tap the bell if you want to explore what lies below the world's most famous landmarks.